Welcome everybody to our YouTube channel, Transformed, and I hope you've gained one or two things. And I'm saying welcome back to our subscribers. I hope you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, please. Thank you very much. And I hope you gained and learned one or two things from our previous video. It's very enriching. Just go back and watch it if you have not watched it. And for those of you that are watching us for the first time, this is our YouTube channel, Transformed. We discuss spirituality, theology. Those are our previous topics. If you can go and check in the channel. And we discuss big questions of life and hidden questions in your heart. I know you are wondering, how do we know hidden questions in your heart? You can drop it in the comment. Today we'll be discussing true spirituality and other forms of spirituality. And there's one we are calling spiritual japa, which is very significant in our today country, Nigeria, in case you are wondering, we are from Nigeria. So there's a common phenomenon in which two friends can be talking today, and in the next 1 week, the friend is just messaging from one US number. I am now in US, and you're wondering, how did you plan all of those things? And I think that's one thing we have to discuss. Why people always make such big changes in their life without telling close people in their lives until they've made the change. But that's by the way. So as I've said, we are going to discuss today true spirituality and other forms of spirituality, including spiritual japa. So as you listen and you pay attention, because I am very sure there are key things that you will learn and you will gain from today's topic. As you listen and you share and subscribe, may you be blessed. Thank you.
Welcome once again, everyone. This is Muiwa. Jude forgot to introduce himself, but now you know his name.
Yes.
Hope you get familiar with it. And like he said, today we'll be looking into true spirituality. Actually, we originally wanted to call this spiritual japa, and there's a reason for that, but we decided to go with true spirituality. Anyway, as we go in, you find out why we are calling it both of those titles. So what are we talking about again? In the past few episodes, we've talked about spirituality and theology. And in the very last episode, we talked about trying to address the error from a previous episode, or a notion that might have been passed across from a previous episode. We wanted to correct that, which is, in one of the videos, we talked about the fact that spirituality is about reaching out, wanting to connect and integrate with something bigger and larger than ourselves that gives life more meaning over the mundane stuff. So in the previous video, we attempted to correct the idea that some things are mundane. So we wanted to correct that. Nothing is actually mundane. Everything has a spiritual aspect to it. And we used the example of food. There is much more we could say along those lines, but because we didn't really get to the part where food itself is spiritual, we talked about the psychological aspect and how it can have more meaning when you share a meal in context of friends and loved ones or with a spouse and things like that. But we don't want to go along those lines. There is such a thing as sharing a meal with God, and we won't talk about that. That's when it gets to the spiritual aspect, but we'll leave that for now. What we want to address again is to go deeper in that issue of the fact that there's a danger with treating some aspects of life as mundane. And that brings us to our topic, what we call spiritual japa. When people start pursuing their spiritual impulses, this impulse for something bigger, for something greater, for something larger, for something more meaningful, for something more grand, for something more meaningful, more heavenly than what we encounter every day, there is always this danger. And that's the danger we want to call attention to. Just like I said in the previous video, some things that we consider mundane are actually not mundane. Some people actually go a step further than that, and it's a wrong direction. We are trying to kind of tell you, don't go that direction. What am I talking about? It's one thing to consider something mundane, but there are actually people who begin to look at the world we live in as something to ignore, as something to give up. give up on. There are those forms of spirituality. Because we want something more meaningful, something more deeper. We want to be connected with God. We want to be, we want to connect to the spiritual realm. We want that sense of meaning and value than that which we can get from everyday stuff. We are always in danger of wanting to give up the everyday stuff. It's a danger many people fall into. Maybe if I could help you get a better picture, when people actually think they are being deep spiritually, it often means that they are letting go of earthly reality. People often fall for that error. When they want to go deep spiritually, there is always the danger of wanting to walk away from everyday stuff, from the normal stuff, from the earthly reality. They want to escape away. And you're beginning to figure out why we called it spiritual japa. They want to japa, they want to escape away. There is always that danger. And there are more reasons why there are that danger, but I just want to stay on that issue of the fact that because the things we experience every day, they become normal to us. That's part of the way humans operate. When you encounter and experience things too often or regularly, its meaning, its value becomes flattened to you. It becomes normal. As we used to say, we take them for granted. That's the way most humans work. Whatever you have easy access to, you begin to take it for granted. You begin to count it as not important anymore. And you begin to want those things that you don't always get access to. And you treat those things that you don't always get access to as the really meaningful stuff. And sometimes as the only meaningful stuff. That other thing you get easy access to that is readily available. You downplay it so much that you want to get rid of it. It happens a lot in spirituality. When people talk about spirituality, when they talk about being deep, they are always talking about something ethereal, something heavenly. They always want to escape away. They always want to japa from this present reality. But that is not true spirituality. It has never been. It will never be. If you think that is true spirituality, you are mistaken, and you need to begin to correct those mistakes, those mistaken concept and ideology. True spirituality is not spirituality that seeks to escape away from the present reality. No, that's not true spirituality. Like I tried to explain in the previous video, true spirituality is what brings it all together. Even the mundane stuff, even the food, even the regular walk by the street, even your kitchen duties, your gardening duties. For those of us who consider ourselves Christians, Bible-believing Christians, in the most pristine state humans have ever lived, in the Garden of Eden, their job was very simple: to keep and guard the garden. It was a very simple task. It was not some ethereal thing, talking with angels. That wasn't the job. Talking with angels isn't bad. I'm not claiming that, so don't fall for the other error. Don't take me wrong on that note. But I'm trying to address an issue. The fact that when we seek to be spiritual, when we seek to go deep in God, we are always in danger of wanting to give up God's creation. And I think it's time I begin to use that language, because that's the best way I can help you to properly hold on to this. If it is God's creation, why do you want to give it up? Why do you want to escape away? It is never God's goal for humanity. It's not God's dream. God made this world for a reason, and we'll still talk about that in maybe there's an aspect of this we aren't addressing right now. I'm intentionally leaving it out because that's a more controversial issue. It's about what we think about what will happen at the end of time. What the scholarly people call eschatology. What do we think is going to be the end goal? What will happen at the end of time? We won't address that today. That will make what we're addressing a little bit more complicated. What we're dealing today is present spirituality. When you seek to give your life more meaning by seeking to connect to God, are you falling for the danger of giving up on what God Himself created, this present reality? Are you falling for that danger of giving up on it? And let me address some other issue, by the way. some people think spirituality are for those, maybe spirituality like this song are for the people who are having the blues, who've suffered heartbreaks, or people who are struggling financially and all of that. But you will be in big error to fall for that misconception. Yes, there are people who, when things are very rough for them, spirituality becomes a way, a kind of escape mechanism for them. But it's not just people who go through financial struggles who begin to seek out spirituality. There are those who have also reached the apex of human achievement. And at the apex of human achievement, they realize that, well, it doesn't really fulfill me as I thought it would. I've chased this success, I've chased the achievement, I've chased, the popularity, I've chased the fame, I've achieved it. And when they come out in public, they are all smiles. You can put so many public figures in this frame I'm painting. You can think of so many of them. People who have achieved, who have attained the climax of human success in different areas of life, whether in entertainment, whether in science, whether in technology, whether in business, people who have reached the top of the mountain in terms of human achievement. And nevertheless, you still find people there who come to a point in their lives and they feel like, my life has no meaning. So don't fall for the danger of thinking spirituality is for those who are having financial struggles or having relationship issues. No. Spirituality, like I explained from the very first video, is the thing that gives the world its full meaning. We are the kind of creatures, we are the kind of beings that are not satisfied with one level. We always want more. We are that kind of being. It seems we are made that way. We want more. So the everyday stuffs, they are good, which is the main point of this video. They are good. They are not to be gotten rid of. They are not to be done away with, as so many people want to do. We shouldn't seek to escape away from them. We shouldn't seek spiritual japa. Spirituality is not an escape mechanism, as so many people treat it, whether the highly successful folks or people who are having regular human challenges. But spirituality itself is what we should have had all along, wherever you are, whether you are still trying to, get your stuff together, or you've been able to put things together and you have reached the apex of human success, or you are doing well along the line. Wherever you are, the spiritual aspect that was all supposed to enrich your life is what you should have had. But because people often drop it for the sake of other things, when they do attain the other things they are pursuing, they then begin to feel empty. Or when they struggle and they don't attain it, they even feel more empty. So whichever you are on the scale of success or human achievement, you should, the stuff that really gives life meaning, whether you've achieved your human aims or not, is that larger connection to in this world you are in. You are here. This world means much more than food and friendship and other stuff. Food and friendship and family, they are all part of it. But like we said, there's that higher level of being connected with the larger world and being connected with the one who is behind it all. That's what gives life a meaning. That's what gives my life, your life, meaning. And it's because we don't treat it as it is. When we begin to recognize the importance of spirituality, we are then always in danger of wanting to give up the other things we've been pursuing and escaping away. But I'm saying don't do that. Don't make that error. You need to hold both together. Some people are in danger of ignoring the things that makes life more meaningful. They are focusing on the everyday stuff, what we can see, what we can touch, what we can feel. There are people who are always in danger of that, focusing on what is down here and ignoring beyond the normal. When that doesn't give them the satisfaction they are pursuing, then they flip to pursuing the other one and ignoring this. And I'm trying to say that is spiritual jackpot. That's not the way, that's not what spirituality is for. Spirituality is to enrich the whole experience. It's not to teach you to drop and give up on the everyday stuff. If you are always been inclined to such forms of spirituality, we are encouraging you to not go that area. We will, in other videos, will explain how you can integrate both successfully. How you can integrate both the everyday stuff and the not so everyday stuff, the spiritual stuff, how you can integrate them. That's what we want to encourage you to do. The integration, not taking spirituality as a form of escape from everyday reality. Whether you are successful or not, we don't want you to treat spirituality as an escape from reality. Spirituality is supposed to make reality much more fulfilling, much more enriching, much more meaningful, much more valuable, not as a means of escape from reality. I hope you get that. In the next video, we'll go deeper, but hold on to that. Stop spiritual japa